All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting daily vlog. This is daily vlog number, I think it's the 315 now. So, today, playing through more of Dragon Age The Veilguard, and warning, spoilers. I am going to talk about kind of the first major decision that you make in the game. You make this decision before you even have your full party. I think the first time I played, I think I was about maybe like 6 to 10 hours into the game when this happens. So this is really early. And again, when I finished the game, I was at like 54, 56 hours, somewhere in there. So this is really, really early in the game. But if you haven't played it yet, maybe skip this video. But I want to talk about something that has been really ticking me off. So, and I talked about this particular choice in my full review after beating the game. But I hadn't done a second playthrough at that point, and I didn't realize the difference. So, the choice itself, again, spoilers, choice itself, literally right after you recruit your Grey Warden companion, Darvis, I think his name is, or Darvin, something like that. Starts with a D. I'm really bad with names. So, you recruit D and his griffin, and then the second you get back, or actually before you get back, right as you get back, get close to the alluvion that you're going to use to get back to your home base, all of your companions come through and go, "Rook, there's something really, really bad." And they tell you that there are dragons attacking Minrathous and Trevino. And you have one companion from each of those locations. You have Nev from Minrathous, and you have Lucanus from Trevino. And you've done some adventures or you've done some quests in both areas. You've kind of met them. And so you are given the following choice. Nev comes up and says, "We need you to come back to Minrathous to fight off this dragon. If you don't fight off the dragon, the Venatori, which is an evil cult that worships the old gods, which now they've kind of shifted over to worshipping the elven gods that just came through the Fade. If you don't stop the dragon, then they're going to take over the government." That is the justification that you're giving. Basically, and the government there is already bad. Like the faction that you work with there, the Shadow Dragons, their entire purpose is to fight against the government. They're anti-slavery. The government is very, very pro-slavery. And they're also anti-magocracy, which the government is run by mages. And they're very, very pro-magic, anti-people that aren't good at magic. It's a very oppressive government. So the current government is not a good government. And you have a group of people who their entire purpose is to overthrow that government. The justification that you get when you need to go to Minrathous is if you don't, then even worse people will take over the government for a little bit. Because again, the whole point of the game is getting rid of the gods, and without the gods, the Venatori aren't going to be able to do anything. We've fought the Venatori, I think going all the way back to Dragon Age 2, you've fought Venatori. I know they were in Dragon Age Inquisition. Can't remember if you fight them in Dragon Age 2. We've been fighting the Venatori forever. You can't kill them off. Like, they will always come back, but if they don't have the backing of something super, super powerful like Corypheus in Dragon Age Inquisition, or the Elven Gods in the Veilguard, then they're basically worthless. So that's the justification you were given for Nev. Lucanus goes, no. We need you to come back to Trevino because there's a dragon there. And if you don't kill the dragon there, then he's going to poison the water supply, infect it with blight, and tons of innocent people are going to die because of it. So your choice is let a bunch of innocent people die, or let some bad people overthrow an already bad government. The choice to me seems really, really clear. And that was the choice that I made the first time. Because I play, you know, goody two-shoe characters. So I'm like, no, I'm going to save the innocents. That was the wrong choice. For the rest of the game, Nev made sure that I knew that I was a horrible, disgusting person that would abandon a city for no reason. There is no reason for you not to save Minrathous. Completely ignore the fact that, again, we are saving an entire city from being poisoned and turned into Darkspawn. Or bad people are getting put involved in the government. That's your choices. So, beat the game. The ending is amazing. I immediately start a new playthrough. This time, I'm a Grey Warden warrior. I throw my shield at everything. It's massively fun. Get to that decision again, and I'm expecting this time Lucanus to just rip me a new one after it's all over. Because basically what happens is, the first time I did it, I scare off the dragon in Trevino. And then we immediately go to Minrathous. Because we're like, maybe we can save them too. We get there, and we're too late. The dragon's already done its damage, and Nev just rips me a new one. How could you? You abandon us. You abandon everyone. You're a horrible person. So the next playthrough, I'm basically, whatever choices I made in my first playthrough, I'm doing the other ones in this one, because I want to see what the other choices do. So I saved Minrathous. It was fun. That particular mission is a decent amount of fun. Once you understand how dragons work, it's actually a lot of fun. Especially with the ability to just chuck my shield. Like, that is so much fun. I cannot tell you guys how much fun it is to just walk into combat and go boom, and then it bounces all over. It's great. Beat that, immediately rush over to Trevino. And Lucanus is completely understanding. He's like, no, it's too late. This city's been, the water supply has been poisoned. The city's been destroyed. There's really nothing we can do. And I'm waiting for Lucanus to go, how could you, in his amazing Spanish accent. I'm going to go, how could you? How could you leave my people here? None of that. He's just like, no, totally understand. You need to stop bad people getting in the bad government. And it blew my mind just how incredibly different the two solutions were. And the results, like, again, I mentioned in my full review that I really hate the fact that they were trying to give you this situation of there aren't any good choices. There's just two bad choices. You need to choose the less bad one. And then for the rest of the game, they punished me for my choice. Like, over and over and over again, I just get told how horrible a person I am, how I made the wrong choice. And then I make the other choice. Nothing happens. I'm not told it was the wrong choice. I'm actually told it was the right choice, and then they thank me for coming afterwards. So there is a right and wrong choice in that. You do not actually have a real choice there. It's either you do the thing that they want you to do, or you will be punished for the rest of the game. And it just blew my mind that that was the way. And again, the thing that is most confusing to Mimimia is there are a lot of different ways that they could have presented the choice. Like, there's a lot of different ways they could have presented the choice. But they specifically gave you the choice between prevent a corrupt government from taking over or innocent people die. And an entire city has their water supply poisoned. Corrupt government, entire major city has their water supply poisoned, which is a war crime. And yet, the writers have decided it is significantly more important to make sure that the bad guys don't get into power of an already corrupt government than it is to save innocent people. It blows my mind. And then I'm trying to play through the entire game a second time because I'm still having a lot of fun. And you have a bunch of quests that you can do in Trevino after you fucked them over, basically. No one's mad at me. I've still been inducted as an honorary crow, because that's who the faction there is, the Antivan Crows. They're an assassin's guild. I'm still inducted as an honorary crow. Lucanus comes back, doesn't say a bad thing about me. He just goes, I am busy. I am helping the crows rebuild Trevino. And that's all he said. He's not mad at me. He's not, you know, punishing me for what I did. He just goes, I have business to do. And then goes back. It's mind-blowing to me that that was the decision that they made. And I don't understand the thought process behind that. Well, I guess I kind of do if I want to bring politics into this, which I really, really don't. But the idea that it's more important to have the people that you want in power instead of protecting innocents from bad things. Let's just say that there are a very small minority of, I guess, both the major political parties in this country, but one of them tends to be a lot more focused on the ends justify the means right now. And that is the philosophy. It is significantly worse to have bad people in the government than it is for innocent people to be poisoned and die. How do you have a worldview like that? Like, how in the world do you... it blows my mind. Again, especially since the faction that exists there, their entire purpose is to overthrow a corrupt government. So it's not like they're sitting there like, well, if they get into power, there's nothing we can do. No, you have an entire faction whose sole purpose is to fight the corrupt government. It's not like you have to create a brand new freedom fighter force that you have to create from scratch. You have to teach them guerrilla tactics and all these other things to be able to fight from the shadows. No! Everybody there already knows how to do it. You simply have to switch who it is that you're dealing with. That's all it is. It's just, oh man, it has been really, really upsetting me. In addition, like I've been checking out other people's takes on the Veilguard as well. Now that the initial woke is bad is over, and we're getting people that have actually beaten the game having opinions on it. And I was watching a video by a female streamer. Don't know who she is because, again, I can't remember names. But her video popped up in my feed. And a lot of the stuff she talked about, I agree with wholeheartedly. Like she talks about the idea like your decisions don't really matter. Which again, it's a relatively linear RPG, so that in and of itself is unsurprising. But she went a little bit further to talk about the idea like whenever you make a dialogue choice, it doesn't actually change the dialogue. Like there's a lot of times where you will pick a different choice. Like I've been experiencing now since I'm playing the game twice and I'm just choosing choices I didn't last time. The dialogue doesn't change, or if it does change, it's maybe 1 or 2 words. So the choices you make, like whether you want to be the kind of snarky, jokey response or the positive response or the asshole response or any of the other responses, it doesn't actually change anything. The dialogue is identical. And to the point, like, she actually brought up the idea of when you start flirting with the characters, because one of the dialogue options is flirting, because it's a Dragon Age game, so you have to be able to romance everybody in the world, and so you can flirt, and every time you do, it feels really, really awkward because you'll say your little flirty line, and then the response never quite feels right, and then it's immediately gone, like they just completely forgot that you were flirting with them. And the reason why is that, again, even when you're not flirting, your dialogue choices don't actually matter. The dialogue doesn't change in any way, shape, or form. The opinion of the people you're talking to doesn't change in any way, shape, or form. Which, when you compare it to something like Dragon Age Inquisition or even Dragon Age 2 or Origins, choosing different dialogue options actually had the characters say different things. And this time, they really don't. Which is great if you're trying to save time recording dialogue, because you don't have to record like the same conversation like 6 or 7 different times, because depending on the choices that they make, they have a different response each time. That makes sense, but it does mean that the game is even more linear than I initially thought, and quite literally your choices don't matter, unless it's a big choice that they decide is the wrong one. And that choice is saving innocence, is always the wrong choice when you're dealing with bad people getting into government. It blows my mind. And again, I made that choice, and then I continued playing, and I've moved this story forward pretty far, and I have never gotten a bad look from anyone in Trevino. The crows still love me. The town population still loves me. People, like, I get thanked for clearing out blight and other stuff like that. No one has ever gone, hey, if you had just helped us out, none of this blight would be here. I have never been attacked for anything like that. When I made the other decision, every time I set foot in Minrathous, I was reminded that this is your fault. The city is destroyed because of you. The Venatori are in control because of you. All of this is your fault. You should feel horrible about yourself, and you better do everything you possibly can to make it right, because you ruined an entire city. It just blows my mind. So, yeah, still having fun with the game. I discovered my PS5 controller, the right stick in particular, is starting to experience a little bit of stick drift. Which for the right stick, that's aiming. And because I'm playing a ranged character, because I just throw my shield at everything, it's becoming a pain in the ass to play the game. So that sucks. And I know there are ways to fix it. One of which is actually cleaning the stick. Which I don't know if I'm going to try that, but we will see. But yeah. So the game keeps giving me things to think about. I promise I will talk about something that's not the Veilguard eventually. I mean, pretty soon I'm going to be running my Metroid game. I'm already doing my prep work for that. Like I said, I was playing it today, and I was blown away by the fact that, oh, there's actually a right choice, and it is the most bizarre correct choice I've ever heard in my life. Interested to hear what you guys think. Am I missing something here? Like, if anyone's actually played the Veilguard, am I just misremembering something? Or do you guys think it's just as bonkers that I do, that, oh yeah, having the right people in government, significantly better, or keeping the wrong people out of government, significantly more important than innocents dying, an entire city's water supply being poisoned? Like, totally, there's no question. Fuck all of those people that are going to die a slow and very painful death. We need to make sure the right people are in local government. Oh, man. Anyway, that's all for me today. I will see you guys in the next time. All right? Bye-bye.